Hello, friends. It's Peg, and I just wanted to talk to you about Art Joy is Sharing for the month of January 2024. Can you believe it? January 2024. Um, I've been talking with some friends, and we talked about what did we want to do this year, and there was a whole lot of conversation about what should we be doing. And so I just want to present you with some different ideas. I think that what we want to do is have some spin-offs of different things that we enjoy doing and maybe have some mini group conversations about those types of things. Now, as you can see, I've got a whole bunch of stuff out on my desk. One of the things that I was going to do today was I was making some skins, and these are just paint that are on some, what do you call this? Deli paper, parchment paper, whatever you want, something that's going to release. And I need to put a coat so that I can pull the whole thing in one piece and not get it misshapen. I need to put a skin coat of some kind of gel over the top of this and let that dry down. So, it's a process. You put your first coat on, you let it dry. You put another coat on and you let it dry. And so this is called skins. And I'll try to remember, I think I have a video out there someplace about making skins. I'll try to remember where that is and add a link if I can to the group so that you guys can see skins and their application. But this is something that we can talk about in Art Joy is Sharing. Making skins, how we use our skins, what do we find them useful for? Do you use them in your journal? Do you use them on your canvases? How do you make and use acrylic skins? So that was just some soft gel gloss I'm putting over the top. And then I'm going to set this whole piece aside to dry somewhere where I'm not going to touch it, wherever that is. Okay, so that's the start of something for a conversation, right? Another conversation that we had was about, get this stuff put away, was about using our black and tone tan and all that sort of thing journals. I think many of us have these different color journals. This was one I started and did not finish last year. And I think that I need to finish up a lot of journals because I have a lot of things in process here. This is where I was with this. I was thinking about X's and O's and, Valentine's Day, pulling out some things to put on there. This is another page that has some openings that I could put things through or cut things out to go within. So, cutting the edges, do you do this type of work in your journals where, you're creating borders and edges on your pages? Here, I did it just with color, and I have these really cool border stencils. And so I could come back with a color over the top of this. Let me just find something. Well, I've got not a color I want to use on there. What have I got? Here's oh boy. I don't know what this is going to look like. This is an abandoned coral distress oxide. And let's see what this looks like on top of here for a border. Because once I have my border on here, one of the things we were talking about was different types of lettering and fonts. And, that I like to keep quotes in my journals. I like to use quotes on my pages in my journals. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. Okay, let me do some more of that. And you'll see what I'm talking about. This is a Tim Holtz Distress Oxide ink. And I just put that little bit of border on this page. But then I may want to come back to this page and add some lettering or a quote or a font. And that's another thing that we talked about and want to do within Art Joy Sharing group. Here's a page in one of my journals I started last year where I was doing some lettering on a page. If you're going to be weird, be confident about it, right? So, I mean, this is another journal that I need to finish. So, you know, these are kinds of things that I want to work on this year, throughout the year. And, you know, it doesn't have to be at any specific time or month or day. Just share what you're working on, you know, because I'm inspired by different things at different times, and it's not always the same thing. Now, let me put this away and show you something else I was inspired by today. I was working on this canvas. You guys may have seen that. This is a canvas I started the other day, and I wanted to add more dimension. Now, there's texture and dimension on this canvas, but I wanted to add more dimension. And so I started thinking about, well, what do I want to do that? What do I want to use to bring that out on this canvas? And so I went to an old standby that I haven't had out in a very long time. Some of you may recognize this. This is Tyvek. And there's another product that I want to share with you. I want to go out to Joann's and see if they have it. So it may be in another video, but I thought, well, this stuff would be kind of cool on my canvas, you know, for layering up and doing something. And so I thought, well, okay, so there's a circular motif. Maybe I need to cut these pieces of Tyvek out into a circle and use it that way. So let me see what that looks like. Now, if you guys are not familiar with Tyvek, let me show you. This is, I save mailers. This is a mailer. I don't want to show you the name and stuff that's on it. It's a first-class mailer. And this is Tyvek. This product that this is made out of is Tyvek. They also make stuff that they wrap houses in. You know, you can get it from the hardware store. Tyvek is everywhere. It's a plasticized type of paper. And so what you do is you take your Tyvek like this, and you add your colors to it. And so one of the things that I wanted to do was to get out all of these products that I have not been using. And my goal is to use some of this stuff to create with. So let me look in here. Here's some blues and greens and things that would work well with the piece that I'm working on. You know, Nouveau embellishment mousse, metallic paint, eye zinc, all of this stuff that I know we have and we just haven't used. And so let's get this stuff out and let's put it to use. And let's show how we're using these products so that somebody else might get a brilliant idea and they can share their brilliant idea with us too. But, you know, what I did was I just took my piece of Tyvek and added some color onto my Tyvek. And you know, it doesn't matter in what fashion you put this down because it's all going to change by the time you get done with your piece. Um, this is not going to remain like this. This is going to be, and I'm going to take that piece and turn it upside down and see if I can get any off on this other piece just to transfer some of that and get it to, yeah, see, it did. See if I can transfer some of that and get it to dry down. Yeah, so there you go. So what you do then is you put it between, now you can heat this with a heat tool, but it tends to curl up quite a bit when you do that. Like if I just come in and hit this Tyvek with a heat tool, it's going to curl. It's going to buckle and it's going to curl. So I prefer to use a hot iron with it. This has several layers to it because it's an envelope. It's got different layers. See, there it goes. It's starting to formulate bubbles. Okay. So I don't want it to curl up like this. Now you can flatten this out a little bit later. It's still hot. And you can put it under books and you can do all kinds of things, you know. But this is just really cool stuff. But if I were to do this and I want to, let me cut a piece of this off real quick and show you something else. I had scissors out here. What do I do with them? Oh, scissors, where did you go? Where did you go? See, this is what happens on my desk. That aside. Oh, there they are. Buried. They're buried. Let me cut a piece of this. Like this. Okay. So you can actually kind of shape things. Like if I wanted this in the shape of some kind of petal, I can kind of pre-form some of this into shapes. Or, let me see, is this thing hot? No. I'm going to turn on my iron. This is just a little craft iron. And I'm going to stick it under here. And the bubbles raise. And so you want to do it from the back side so that the bubbles raise on this side. Now, if I wanted them to go the other direction, then I would turn it the other way. This has an additional piece on here, so I'm just going to tear that off. Put that under here. And I'm going to start to just float over the top of this piece we started heating with the heat tool. And you can start to see where it's shrinking up. And if you get it real hot, it's going to create holes. I'm dropping things on the floor here. I'm really liking what I'm seeing through here. Let's take a peek and see what we got. Oh yeah, that's kind of cool. So you see, here's this piece that we started out with. It's got a lot of texture. Now, if I want to open up some of those bubbles, all I have to do is come at it from the other side now and hit it with the heat and get that to shrink back. You have to get it hot enough to make the hole. There we go. I think I got a hole now. Yeah, see how I've got holes in this now? So it becomes lacy. So when you're putting it on something else now, it's got that lacy lacy effect, right? Kind of cool. That'd be cool on a piece of black. Where's my black journal that I just dropped all over the place? Here. See that on a nice dark piece? Isn't that pretty? Wouldn't that be cool? Okay, so here's the one that we cut in a kind of a leaf form. Let's see what we can get doing that. You know, you could build garden elements on your page or canvas doing this by creating petals and leaves and all kinds of things, right? Now, it's going to shrink. It shrinks down, I think, about 50% of the way. But how cool is that? That's a cool little leaf, right? And here's that circle that I was thinking about using on that other canvas. Let's do a little work on that. See what we get. Oh, that shrunk quite a bit. Wow. It's still shrinking. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. All right. I need to flatten it. I need to flatten that edge. That's cool. Now maybe hit it right in there. Get rid of some of that yellow. See how you can play with this. So now I've got a sort of round piece that could be added to my canvas to give it some interest, right? These can be built up on here, layered however you want. You know, here's this, here's that leaf shape. So something fun to play with, Tyvek, right? With all of those products that we've got sitting around. Another discussion, change of subject here. Another discussion that we had was about, let me turn this off before I burn myself, was about doing, where's the off? Oh, down there. There's a little bitty arrow there. Okay. Was about doing things with one color. So remember, I had done this with, and I'll try to remember to put a video up for that, with some inks a few years ago, with just pen and ink. Here we go. These are ink bottles, and it has lots of different colors in here. This one is called Candlelight, and this one is Red Robin. So, you know, for one color, this was a color called Seize the Night, and you can see the variations by using the one color. These were the 2021 Diamine box content, and so I had swatched all of these out. Let's see if we can find this one. This one was called Red Robin. Okay, here's Red Robin right here. And so you can see the gradation that you can get with this just by changing it up a little bit. I like that pink ice. That would be fun for Valentine's. Pink ice or raspberry for Valentine's, right? Peach punch. I don't know if I have any of those. What is that? Copper. Storm. That's a cool one. So let me go back to this Red Robin. So when you're working with this, you know, you can just do pen and ink. Isn't that pretty? All about the vest. You can just do pen and ink, or, you know, you can brush it with some water, and you can continue to add layers, you know. Get a dilute mixture to start with, right? Let's see if I can do a little demo of that. Get a dilute mixture, and I'm just going to take a brush here. Should probably have a palette. Watercolor palette. Where's the watercolor palette? There we go. Here's a watercolor palette. And if I take a little bit of this red, I put it out here on this palette, right? If I were to wet my page, let's just spritz it. We're going to get some variation in color, right? So I'm going to start down here at the bottom, because this is going to be deeper red than when I come up here, because it's going to fade out as we go towards the top. Just like watercolor, right? So this would be a first layer. Now, whether I am doing it with lettering or whatever, this would be something that you could do just to create a background on a page. And then, you know, if you need to speed it along, grab your heat tool. I'm getting my cord wet here. And it's running into this. Grab your heat tool and, you know, dry it down, and then you can continue on. But, you know, you don't have to. You don't have to dry it down. You can just let it go. I've got, oh boy, dirty fingers. Because I've been playing, right? I've been playing. And that's what I want you guys to do. Throughout the months in 2024, I want you to play. I want you to experiment with all that stuff you have already in your stash, with trash, with stuff that, you know, you find in the garbage and turn into something else. You know, those Tyvek are just envelopes that I saved from the trash and, you know, turned into something else. So I hope you guys think this is a good idea. If you don't like it, you know, I'm okay with that. Just let me know what your thoughts are for the upcoming year and what you would like to see, because, you know, we're there as a group for you guys. And in order for us to do what you want to see and do, we need your input. So lettering, quotes, black and tan, one color, doing canvas and doing fun experiments with things like Tyvek or skins, that sort of thing. It's all up for grabs, guys. And that's what I want to see in our group. I want to see you having fun and sharing and just experiment away. Thanks for watching today. I will try to remember to add those links, and I will see you again soon.